Hello. Mic test. Hello, guys, and welcome to the 45th edition of the Trading Opportunities webinar. This is Nirav, and I know we are a little bit delayed today. Let me see if everything is in order at my end. And good morning and good evening and afternoon to you guys, depending on the time zones you are in. Hello, Antoine. Hello, Lunice. Good morning to you. So looks like the audio is working fine. And because I was outside and coming back to the office, there was some traffic and whatnot, so I got delayed. Sorry about that. And kindly let me know if the screen share is also working fine. I can see that the audio is already confirmed. Hey Charles, top of the day to you. Okay guys, so it looks like things are working well. Let me just quickly check one more thing here, and then we'll get started. Okay, there it goes. Also, you should be able to see an Euro USD chart if you can confirm. Hello. Is my audio not reachable? I have asked for confirmation, and although I can see good morning and one other message, two other messages actually, but no clear confirmation of the visuals. Everything looks good and sounds also. Thank you for the confirmation, Charles. So in that case, let's get started very quickly with the good old disclaimer for legal purposes here on screen, suggesting that all content presented here is for educational purposes. I'm not soliciting buy or sell. If you do go on to use the views presented here for your trading, investing, or any other purpose, you yourselves will be liable for your profit loss or loss of profit. Rest of the stuff you can read yourselves on screen here. Going forward, here is the quick introduction about me and my work for those of you who are joining in for the first time. My name is Nirav Yadav. I'm the admin and owner of 50eyes.com website and 50 eyes market analysis YouTube channel, where this broadcast is being done. Right, you can see my previous broadcasts. We have done 44 of these webinars previously, and we do every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 2 p.m. GMT. So in case you are watching it later on as a recording and want to join in live, catch these opportunities live and ask questions, then do join in at this time. Right. So in this 45th webinar, we will be proceeding with the currencies, indexes, commodities, as well as Bitcoin. And a little bit more about my work. I'm also the author of the book Think with the Markets: Secrets to Achieve 80% Plus Accuracy Using Elliott Waves, available on Amazon's Kindle platform. And lastly, the track record, which I would like to show off again, that our consecutive accuracy for 6 years plus is 80% plus. As you can see over here, 2021 82.22, 2020 88.52, and 2019 84.88, 18 84.61, so on and so forth, 87.5 for 2017, and 2016 83.34. So that's about it for the introduction. You can always check this Google spreadsheet by visiting 50eyes.com/forecast accuracy page. All the instruments discussed are listed here, the analysis is listed here, and the video links are here. And what happened obviously is listed in the outcome section. With the introduction out of the way, let's just quickly get started with the chart of Euro USD here on screen. Actually, there has not been any new development on this counter, but we'll discuss it anyways. So the way we have this count is that from this point of reference around a price of 1.10318, we have two ways of looking at this. First is that we think of it as a zigzag correction, and in zigzag correction, thank you for sharing the link, Charles, and I would appreciate if others would also do the same. Thanks a lot. So as I was saying, in Euro USD, we have what you call a zigzag correction here, and in Elliott Wave terminology, the zigzag will be a leg down, a B leg up, and C leg down. So once this thing is complete, we should see another move upwards. So that's our first view, or hypothesis one, let's say. Because the way I do analysis is I form multiple hypotheses, and then based on the price action and other determining factors like price levels, etc., we determine which hypothesis is possibly playing out, and if we can get a clear picture of which hypothesis is playing out, we take a trade. Otherwise, we wait and watch. Right. So if this analysis is playing out like A down, B up, and C down, then this movement is already complete over here. Right. And because this movement is complete over here, we can then start to see upward movement. So that also means that if this market is going for upward movement, it should not break the recent low, which is roughly placed around 1.0532. So if this market actually goes below 1.0532, then it is a sell setup, definitely, right? And as we discussed, this is just the hypothesis one. I think it's pretty clear. Below this recent low, we look for shorting opportunities, 1.053, right? And the actually different view we have is actually it's just more or less the same. The second view is that you can take it as a nested 1-to-1 formation, which would suggest that there is a series of impulses going in the downward direction, which would look something like this. First leg down, second leg up, and then the third leg is going down, the fourth leg will go up, and the fifth leg is going down. And within this series, we have the first leg here, the second here, and the third is still progressing to the downward direction, right? In this progression, the third will have again 5 waves of itself within it, which is called the fractal nature of Elliott wave. Hello, Kumbat. We can see is gold. We'll check gold after we discuss the currencies and crude. So yeah, getting back to our chart of Euro USD, as I was saying, if this is heading down as a 3, again we will see a 1-2-1-2 formation, and this leg should again head lower. Again, the what do you call, the trigger will again be the same, break of 1.053 downside, right? Now the last or counter view, I should say, is that if this market is already complete the zigzag thing, then it should go up, right? And currently we do not seem to be having a very clear setup for the upward movement. The reason is that this movement started from 1.0532, roughly speaking, seems like a more of a correction to the upside, like a up, B down, and C up. Since it is more of a corrective structure, I back again. It looks like I got disconnected here for a bit. If somebody can confirm the stream is running fine in the comment section. And while I wait for that, good morning to you, Philippe Pack. I am driving again and cannot contribute much. No problems, Philippe. Do focus on your driving. Appreciate that you are coming here and showing your support like this. So now the audio stream should not be fading in and out, and let me also restart the stream at my end and see how's the audio going. Okay, now I'm back completely. Let's see by typing in the chat. Okay, the chat is also going. Okay. So now let's proceed. As I was saying, for the bullish scenario, we do not have enough confirmation, and as I just mentioned, price level as well as strong bullish candles are still to be seen. So nothing on the bullish side of things, like no setup basically. So we wait and watch for the bearish setup to play out or some evidence for bullish setup to form. That's about it for Euro USD, and let me know guys if you have any particular questions on this counter. Otherwise, we'll move over to the chart of EURCAD, where things have changed a lot, not little bit, quite a lot, I would say. So, if you guys remember last time when we were discussing EURCAD, we were doing live analysis. Thanks for the confirmation, Charles. And what we were thinking was that this market is possibly complete, possibly has completed a flat kind of correction here: A down, B up, and C down, right? And based on that, we have already taken long positions, right, somewhere around here, and I had taken re-entries here or maybe here. I don't exactly recall, but what I do recall is during the last live webinar, I took my exit right at the top of this turn, and my idea was that I was already in pretty good profit. So what I wanted to do was take a re-entry on possible pullback. So what I was expecting was a small pullback, like a down, B up, and C down, maybe completing around 1.45 or something, roughly around that level, right? And if you guys recall that we exited actually in live markets during the webinar, or if you remember it, do let me know in the comment section. Okay, thank you, Anton, for the confirmation. So yeah, as I was saying, we exited this long position, and we were just looking for a small pullback. That was the outlook so far, right? But what happened was we got a bigger pullback, much bigger than our expectation of 1.45 level. We actually got to 1.439 something level. So what is really happening here? Actually, there might be multiple things happening now, because what is happening is this market has gone up as a correction. So you can take this movement as continuing as a sideways correction, like a flat or a complex, right? It could be anything at this point, right? If it's let's say a complex, then it can go up, down, up, and then complete the B. One second, over here, let's say, complete the B and then go down again for the C, and then go up again for the moment we actually expected, right? That's just one way. As I said, complex, as in the name suggests, that it can take complex formations, and it is definitely not gonna be possible to plot all possibilities right here. So as I was saying, this is one of the possibilities that it can do something like this. Second is that the ABC correction was actually the correct count, and this is right now forming a nested 1-2-1-2 formation. Right, we do not have confirmation for that. This bullish leg does seem to suggest something like that may be happening, but that's just not enough. So what I'm going to see is wait for more price action. If the price action is again bullish, just like this last candle or on the Forex chart, then I might become interested in adding longs. And if not, at the worst case scenario, we have already got alerts placed near the high. If it breaches that, then I will definitely look to pull some short-term long trades on this counter. So long story short, swing perspective, it is still a long trade, right? Short term wise, it can go sideways. So that basically means we need to, if we want to go long right away, take partial positions and hold with bigger stops, basically below the recent low of wave C, which is 1.4239. And if we do not want to hold swing longs, then we can just wait and watch and let's let the market take these levels out, or see what else it does, right? So overall, still the direction remains the same. The wait and watch bias on this. So guys, let me know if there is anything you want to ask on this particular chart before we move over to the chart of USDJPY, Charles, Antoine, and Lenise and other participants on TradingView. I can see 4 people were online here. Now it's showing 3. So whatever questions you may have on this chart of EURCAD, let me know. Thank you, Jill, for the confirmation there. Let's now head over to the next chart, USDJPY. So USDJPY is more or less again less clear chart, I would say. And let me just first start off with the discussion we had in the last webinar, and then we'll move ahead with what's possibly happening right now. So in the last webinar, we were of the view that this market is forming a, let's just take it from the last important point. So we were thinking that this market may be forming a zigzag correction from this point of reference around the price level of 129.80. And from this point of reference, we were thinking that this was the A up, this was the B down, and this was going for the C up. Now, the simple reasoning which we used was we draw the 0 to B trend line, and we were waiting for the break of this trend line for a possible selling opportunity. It gave a false break here. And as I was mentioning, that generally what I like to see is a break below the trend line and then a retest of it, like market goes below and then retests it like this. So for instance, in this case, if it goes retests like this and then goes back down again, that's what I would like to call a very good entry. In this kind of a case, I would like to take the entry near this, let me change the color, near this blue line when it breaks it for the second time. Right. So if we are still going for a bearish market here, as per our zigzag analysis, then again, I would like to wait for this kind of setup. But the more important issue which I feel here is that this C does not look like a very good or clear impulse completion here. Neither does it look like a very proper diagonal. I don't think we can actually count it like a diagonal. Even if we try to force the count, I don't think we can force it. Yeah, impulse, we can force it. We can say this is a wave 1 up, wave 2 down, wave 3 up, 4 down, and the 5 up. So in that sense, it can still fall, right? And I have seen weirder counts on Forex pairs. But for me, it looks like this is not the best setup, right? I might become interested in it if it takes out this low, which is placed around with an alert of 135.357. So if it takes out this low, I might become interested in some short-term, what do you call, sells. But overall, it looks more like it's doing something else, and very much possible that we will have to update our entire count on this counter. Right? So based on that, I will still say that it is unclear, and we look to avoid it compared to other instruments which might have a much clearer setup. In case there is any doubt, you guys just let me know or just type in clear for the confirmation, and we will move to EURJPY. And thank you, Fraser and Antoine, for the confirmation. Okay, here we go on the next chart, EURJPY. So this one is a +1. If you guys remember, last time we avoided counting it as a worked out count. Last time also, by the way, we were able to capture in the last webinar the movement of this leg, right? I don't particularly remember which was the entry point, but we very well predicted this leg up, and then this leg up was also predicted, right? I think the entry was the break of the high. Predicted the pattern also to be the diagonal, which seems to have played out really well. Lonis and Parvez, so thank you for the confirmation in the comment section. So yeah, as I was saying, we have got this leg up. this leg up, and then this leg up, right? So EURJPY is actually, we have got 2 trades in the last 3 webinars, I think, or 4 at max. That takes our tally of counts that of the trades that have worked out to 51 in the last 44 webinars so far. So we have crossed the 50 mark. Now, coming back to the actual discussion. So what we have so far is, we have from this point of reference, which is around 137.368, a zigzag kind of movement, and we have so far labeled it like this, right? And particularly the important case of C, we have labeled it like a diagonal structure, right? In Elliott Wave terminologies, a diagonal is basically a 5-wave pattern which has in specific an overlap of wave 1 and wave 4, right? So this is exactly how we have labeled it. And by the way, we were able to capture this moment, and this market just breached this high. We were able to predict that this might be forming this kind of pattern, right? So if you want to catch these opportunities at the earliest, do attend these webinars when they are broadcasted live. See, now coming back to the further discussion, I think there is a possibility that this market might still be forming this diagonal thing, right? Although it is less likely, but it is possible that, let me remove this. It is possible that this 1 is here, 2 is here, 3 is here, and then it goes down for the 4 and then goes up again for the 5. So this is a possibility. We cannot relegate it just yet. So since we cannot relegate it, the possibility of one more up leg is still remaining. I personally will be interested in selling this market short, and I think currently there is no short. If we had confirmation that this diagonal is already complete over here, then I could have shorted this, but I personally will wait somewhere around 143.90 or lower levels. Again, it's also possible that it goes there for the wave 4 only, like it goes to 143.90 for wave 4 and then goes up for the wave 5. So there is a chance that we may have a losing trade at once, or we may have to hold on this trade longer than we were expecting to. There is no clear solution for it. If we really want confirmation here, the confirmation will come very, very late. By that time, the market would have already done the movement. So, long story short, short positions are possible on EURJPY. There is no confirmation, and if we want to remain aggressive, we can enter shorts right now, which I personally do not like, with the stop loss at the high or near the high. And second thing we can do is wait for at least a little bit more sort of confirmation by letting the market move below 143.9, right? That will give us at least a kind of an idea that this market might now might give us the downward movement now. So shorts is what we will look for, but wait and watch for now. If there's anything specific you guys have in mind, let me know in the comment section, or else we can move on to our commodities part covering crude oil and gold, which will later be followed by the indexes, S&P Nifty, and lastly by BTC, where things have changed a lot. Thank you, Jill and Fraser, for the confirmation here. And Philippe Calphone, good morning to you. Okay, so in that case, let's head over to CL, or West Texas Intermediate Crude Oil. Also known in short as WTI crude oil. Parvez, thank you for the confirmation. So see, long story short here is that nothing really has changed. But as I always do, I'll just give you a quick rundown for the new participants who are joining in, and we'll be really quick with this one. Two possibilities exist. First is we think might be forming a triangle. For that, confirmation will come below the break of 73.41, right? Second thing we think is that this whole downward movement is already complete over here, right? And for that, again, this whole sideways will be a build up for upside. The confirmation will come near the break of the high. We can take risky entries around 80.212, and a little bit more confirmation will come after it breaks 82.298. So those will be both levels which will serve us upside entries, right? And the counts will be something like this. So these are the things, and let's just wait for now. And I will not discuss crude oil. If you want to check it, just check 4 or 5 webinars back. We have discussed this whole count in much detail. Not much point repeating myself here. I'll just now quickly move on to gold, where things again have changed a little bit compared to what we were thinking last time. Okay, so here it is. The chart seems to be taking a lot longer than usual to load up. Not sure what's going on. It has not loaded up the whole information. Yeah, there it goes. So in gold, what we were expecting last time was that this market is headed lower. And the way we were thinking was that this was going for a 1, 2, and then a nested formation, another 1 here, let's say dot 1 of a lower degree, and then dot 2. Right. Now, the general idea or the general way the markets go or move is, I seem to have missed a comment here, by the way. 3 lakhs to upward trend lines taken out. We'll get a confirmation sooner than later. 73.40 is broken to downside. Anton is saying. Personally, Anton, I also think that the bearish side is definitely looking more likely right now. But we have waited quite long. So let's just wait again and see what happens till the next webinar. Or obviously, if it does something in the middle. So yeah, getting back to our gold analysis, what I was saying was we were expecting this kind of movement, but generally what happens is this wave 2, which is started after the completion of wave 1, is a flat structure, and a flat generally is a running flat in the sense the A wave up is followed by B down, but the C up does not always cross the wave A high, or generally does not cross the wave A high. It remains short of touching the wave A high. It should something expanded flat structure. But as I've said, expanded flats are not that common, right? And generally, I have not seen them very often, to be honest. They are theoretically possible, and sometimes I have seen them during news events like during crude oil's what do you call inventory reports and some other news events, but they are not that common. Okay, so again, keep in mind the possibility exists that this is still a wave 2 heading up right away or right now, and it will then be followed by a leg down for wave 3. But because of the fact that this kind of structure is not that common, we have to consider the possibility that maybe this whole structure is something else, right? So lost connection again. Here it says, let me see, saying, so it's broadcasting still live on my YouTube. Maybe I lost momentarily. Am I back now? Because when I turned up the audio at my end, it's going well. Lost. What I'll do is I'll start again here and see. And K Jill is saying my was good. Okay, Jill. So it looks like it was momentary connection loss. And let's get going with our analysis. So yeah, as I was saying, we are not currently clear of the bearish count. The bearish count still might be playing out, but we do not have the confirmation to say that this is the expanded flat structure, because as I said, they are low probability scenarios. Now let's see some other viewpoints of what this market might be doing. it is possible that 1 second, let me check one thing here very quickly here. It is possible that this market is heading up not as a flat correction, but with the secondary possibility, which I have not discussed earlier. If we look at this chart from this point of reference around 1959.20, this is the new alternate scenario I'm proposing, that maybe this was a diagonal here. For those of you not much familiar with diagonals, it is like a wedge pattern, right? In Elliott Wave, we call it a diagonal, and it has 5 waves inside of it. They can be labeled as 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, right? So if this is the diagonal, then the diagonals are known to have deeper retracements. And even if it does not go deeper than 50-60, then 50-60 is still not achieved, right? So if we draw it very quickly, let's see where it will come out to be. So this is your 50-60 box. Okay. And let's just remove all the clutter and see what's happening right now. Okay. So now, as I was saying, if this market is still going down, but not as the previous count, but as this new proposed alternate view, then we can label it as a 1 or A. Let's just, for the sake of convenience, call this a wave A down. And then the wave B can go as high as this box. Right, this box is placed within the price range of 1882, roughly speaking, to 1900. Right, so because this market is placed between this, or this resistance level is placed between this level, we can have some good upside before any fall, right? So what I will do here is I'll wait and watch for both kind of trades. This now becomes a pretty open ground because it's a very big movement that can happen, and hence because it's a very big movement that can happen, we can have trades on both upside as well as downside. But do keep in mind, it is not supposed to go to this box. It can reverse from here or anywhere in the middle, right? And also because it's a leading diagonal, it might give a deeper retracement. Basically, all I'm saying is that everything is possible, but in all the possibilities, we expect this to be a high probability movement, right? Now, coming to the current count, I think that it looks very much likely that if from this point of reference around 1804, we count this thing as a wave A up, a possible flat, and then a C up, right? So this becomes a sort of a zigzag kind of movement. Hence, currently, if this count is correct, that this market is a zigzag or currently moving in a zigzag, then we will wait for longs for this wave C, because that will be the clearest and the fastest movement likely for the coming short term, right? So the now setup very, I would say not very long term, but yes, sort of like for the next few sessions. Let me see, 28th Feb. Let's say for the next 3-4 sessions, the setup becomes now that we will look for long opportunities. We can do it by two ways. We can either look for evaluating this price movement on a lower time frame and trying to check when this A, B, C correction is complete for the wave B down. If we can evaluate this wave B down's completion point, we can take entries over there. If not, then once this leg down is finished, it will start going higher and then take out the last high. So that way also we can take entries for the upside. So these are the two ways I will look out for taking trades on this counter. Definitely we need to keep this in our watch list, as it will give us very good trade setups or trades basically in the time to come, is what I think. So gold, definitely keep in your watch list, and if you have any comments, I'll just wait for that in the chat section before we head over to indices, S&P's 500 followed by Nifty 50, and at the end we will discuss BTC. What about the other participants? Believe Jill has already written the confirmation. Thank you, Jill, Parvez, Fraser, and Toin, and the other participants. Lenise, are you guys clear? Okay, thank you, Fraser, for the confirmation. Thank you, Philippe Calpon. So in that case, let's head over to our next chart, S&P 500, which by the way we had in our watch list last time, and I was saying will give us good trades, and it did. Thank you, Parvez, for the confirmation. So now let's just discuss what's happening here. We had for daily, 1 second. I want to check one thing here very quick. That's not the chart. This one is. Or this one, 1 second. Yep, there it is on the lower time frame. That's what we were looking for. Okay, so I think 1 hour should suit us better. So now let's just discuss what is going on count-wise and what we discussed last time and what has happened so far. So first of all, Elliott Wave count-wise, we were expecting that from this point of reference around the price level of 4143, we were expecting that this market was heading for a down, B up, and possibly a C down, right? Now within this C leg down, we will have 5 waves because that's the way Elliott Wave counts work. In a ABC flat structure, you will have 3 waves for this A, 3 waves for this B, and 5 waves for the C, right? And the C leg should look theoretically like this and is labeled something like this. Let's see how we actually labeled our chart, our actual chart. So we have labeled it something like this: 1 here, 2 here, followed by, it looks like I have considered this thing to be continuing to the downward, in the downward direction. And in this continuation, we are still lagging or still about to see or should see a wave 3 down. Because see what happens is in this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 kind of structure which I have drawn on the right hand side, these are fractals. So what will happen is the wave 1 itself will have 5 waves inside of it, 3 will itself have 5 waves inside of it, and 5 will again have 5 waves inside of it. So long story short, if we magnify this wave 3, let's say, basically this part, if we magnify it, then it should look something like this again. So based on that, I have proposed in the earlier analysis that this is the dot 1, this is the dot 2, this is the dot 3, let's say, and we were inside the wave 4, right? Our proposition was that wave 4 may have completed here and this market will go down, or that wave 4 is continuing sideways and then this market will go down. So both ways we were looking for shorts, and our minimum target was the break of the low of what is this, 3941. So far it has successfully worked out. So this is a +1 because our entire setup has worked out, making our tally to come to 52. So basically we are keeping account of the trades which we have discussed or the big moves which we have discussed and worked out, and so far 52 trades have worked out in the last 44 webinars. Pretty good number, I think. So now let's see what might be happening, because what has worked out has already worked out. Now the possibility that this wave 4 is still continuing is still not relegatable. What I'm saying is that it is possible that this might be forming a flat kind of structure, right? So if this is forming a flat structure, then this wave 4, once it's complete, should see a fall, right? That's the first possibility. This first hypothesis is suggesting downward movement. Second possibility is that the wave 4, once it's already complete here, the 5 is already complete here, making the, what is this, pink color 3 complete already here, and this 4 will come into play. Again, this 4, if it's coming into play, it will again go down straight, or it will go sideways for the completion of 4 and then fall down. Basically, hypothesis 2 is again suggesting more downward movement, right? However, there's a third, what do you call, outlook, which again is really possible here. And the third outlook is suggesting that none of these hypo 1 or hypo 2 is performing in the actual market. What is really happening is a complex wave B is in play. So now if we look at, by the way, first guys, let me know if you are clear with the hypothesis 1 and hypothesis 2. In hypothesis 1, we were basically proposing that wave 3 down is continuing. In hypothesis 2, we were proposing that wave 5 down will come into play. Thank you, Jill and Antoine. Now, the last, basically both of them are pointing down. That's what you need to know or care about right now. So the S3 or hypothesis 3, which we are now going to discuss, is that from this point of reference around 41, 43, we have the A down. That's all right. But the B is still continuing, right? And by the fact or by the mere continuation of B, it means that B can also become a complex, a triangle, or something else. So let's for one instance assume that the wave B, which is propagating sideways, becomes a triangle. I'm just assuming it for the sake of convenience. It can take, as I said, many different forms. So if it is continuing as a triangle, then wave B again will have a structure like this. So this is your A complete here, and the B will, if it's a triangle, look like this. It will have a A to E waves inside of it, right? And C and D and E. It will look something like this, roughly speaking. Now if we look at the actual chart, this can be considered the dot A of this triangle. This can be considered possibly the dot B of the triangle. And that would suggest the dot C of the triangle and then the dot E and dot E. Again, keep in mind, this is all just one possibility. It can do multiple things. What I'm basically trying to point out is if the B is still continuing, then a lot of things are possible which would make this market propagate sideways within this range of 4197 or let's say 4200, and on the downside 3920-ish level. So between these ranges 3920 to 4200, which is a pretty wide range, this market can continue propagate to the downside. With that being said, my primary analysis remains still bearish, right? And we will have to relegate it at some point, but that we will see in the coming sessions. I will not like to comment because, as I said, a lot of scenarios are forming right now. So what we can do in a situation like this is, if the hypothesis 1 and 2 both are pointing downside, we should definitely be on the lookout for a bearish setup. I will look to enter possible shorts below this alert level, which is placed around 39.44. So below this, possibilities of short exists. I might even enter even before that if this market gives me some more clues. Right now it is performing very bullishly, so I'm going to avoid it. Just right now I'm definitely going to avoid it for any short possibilities. So that's the setup for S&P's 500. Also keep in mind, it's not a confirmation, but above 4019, let's say 4020, above 4020, I personally will start looking for short-term long opportunities, intraday longs, and things like that. Right. And the reason is that if you pay attention to the impulsive count, which we did earlier, let me just check over here. In the impulsive count, we were thinking that this could be a 3 of some degree, and this could be the 4. And I said in our discussion of some other chart earlier that generally when a 4 is happening, it's generally a running flat kind of structure. So above 4020, it relegates the running flat scenario and it becomes either expanded flat or it becomes the wave B continuation, which is hypo 3. This particular discussion might have become a little bit complex for those of you who are newcomers here. I would advise you to watch this section on S&P 2-3 times to get the clear grasp of what I was saying. But in conclusion, this is the setup and these are the hypotheses. Let me know if you have any questions regarding this. Otherwise, we'll move over to our last two charts, Nifty followed by Bitcoin. And yes, guys, I am requesting you at this point to hit the like button on YouTube. I'm currently only seeing 5 likes, whereas there were 16 plus participants at some point, and currently we have 13 plus participants. So please make sure you have hit the like button, and I would request you to also share the content once this webinar is complete with your friends and colleagues, because we need a little bit more participation. Currently we are getting around 230 to 50 something, roughly speaking, views. I would very much like to see it go higher than 500, and for that your continued sharing of the content is going to help a lot. And we are already on the 45th webinar, so at this point we already have a very decent track record of 51 trades, sorry, 52 trades which have worked out in the last 44. So please make sure you share it and provide the new participants with the messages about how you feel about the content so that they will be more interested in joining in. With that, let's head over to our next discussion of Nifty. Thank you, Fraser, Jill, and Philippe for the confirmation. And where is that Nifty 50? So here on screen we have the chart of Nifty 50. So let's start our discussion with what was the view last time. So the last time my view was that my inclination is bearish, but there was no clear trade setup, right? My inclination was bearish because on the daily chart we had clear 9 consecutive red candles which were having not only red closes but also closes below the past low. So if you look at this candle, then this second candle, it closed below its low. Third candle closed below the low of the second, and as you can see, I can just keep drawing them and so on and so forth. Every consecutive candle is closing below the low of the last one. So see, since this is a super bearish kind of movement, I currently still am not very interested in going longs other than intraday, of course. From a swing perspective, I still am not relegating the view that this market may have more downside remaining. And for that, we have counted it multiple times. Our most recent count suggesting extreme bearishness is of nested 1-2-1-2 formation, where we may be heading for the wave 3 lower. Right, so that's our take on this counter. That's, by the way, the bearish take, right? The second outlook is that if this market was already or has already completed the bearish movement around 17,264 something level, then what is the count? In that case, we have already counted this market as a triple zigzag. It can also be counted as some other ways, but this is the actual count we have so far, right? Based on that, one second, did I update it? Yes, there it is. See, so based on this second bearish scenario, the confirmation is far, far away. The exact confirmation will come above 18,200. Remember when the market was somewhere around here, I was saying that if it breaks 18,200, we will have bullish possibilities in coming and I'll be looking for longs. But then the market went very near it and then collapsed or fell down, let's say. So same goes again for WXYXZ. We still have not crossed that important, very important level 18,200. So until it's crossed, all longs that I might be interested in would be intraday short-term longs, right? And nothing really to add more to it. If you have any particular questions, please do let me know in the comment section. Otherwise, we'll move to BTC, where new developments seem to be happening, or I must say we will need a updation of the count. Okay, so thank you for the confirmation, Philippe and Jill. Let's head over to our last discussion, which is the chart of BTC. Thank you, Parvez, for the confirmation. So yeah, guys, let's see what we discussed last time and what's happening here on this chart. So last time our view was that we already had long positions. We entered around this low of 21,560 something, and the idea was just keep trailing it as long as it's above this red channel line. Just keep trailing it. So not only it has broken below the red channel line, it has given a significant move down. So that basically means the fifth wave is already complete, and that means we will now push the 5 over there. Now if the fifth is already complete, let's have a quick look at the bigger scenario here. Now the bigger picture scenario suggests that from this point of reference we have an impulse 15,460 something level. Speaking from this level we have an impulse, and as we guys are already familiar in Elliott Wave terminologies, an impulse is a rough structure which looks something like this. Now see, because we have completed it already, what we expect is now at least 3 leg movement to the downside, right? A 3 leg movement to the downside, which will generally go at least to the low part of wave 4 or lower, is just a general thing that happens, that generally the market will go to the wave force low part, or the point in this case would be, or the price level would be around 21,520 or lower. So it is currently near that level. So roughly speaking, the quick movement has already achieved the sort of achieved the minimum targets. Now, what is the outlook of this counter? The outlook is two-faced. If this is still heading for a more impulsive movement, then once this three-wave movement is complete, we can look to pinpoint the completion point of this movement and head upwards, or basically enter longs. Secondly, if we are not able to pinpoint it, we can always just place an alert near the high, right? And somewhere around 24,900, if it crosses 24,900, then we will actually enter longs here, right? And the reason, as I said, is once this correction is complete, it should head higher, and in the higher degree counts, it will be a wave one of, let's say, circle degree, two of circle degree, and so on and so forth. It is continuing for three of circle degree. Now, I'm not very sure of this count, and the reason is that this counter may have formed what looks like a possible correction in the upward direction. So what I really mean by that is, it's possible that does from this point, let's say on the daily, let's say, it should be more clear on daily. So why I'm saying that the upside is not confirmed is that on the daily time frame, if you go to the price level around 17,595, you can count this as A up, B down in three waves, and then this is your C up. And what this really is a flat correction. So roughly speaking, it will be like this. This leg is what you will call an A, this leg is what you call B, and this leg is what you call a C. And what happens in a flat correction is, as soon as the C is complete, the market drops down and it crosses the last low of that particular structure, which in this case is going below 15,500 level. Okay, around 15,515 something level, roughly speaking. So if that is the count which is playing out, then this market is now open to extreme bearish movement, right? That's why I was saying holding longs is not very ideal at this point in time, and definitely wait for confirmation. As we mentioned, above 24,900 levels, we will be interested in longs. And any longs before that are quite risky, because as you have already seen, this market gives very wild movements, not in just upside or downside, but both directions you can see. So keep that in mind, and no confirmation, no entries for long unless there's a confirmation. And shorts, as I said, it is open for shorts, but there is no confirmation yet. We'll wait for some more bearish candles or some more clear movement for shorts, but at least we have a level for the upside. Nothing much to add here. I hope hopefully have covered any doubts you may have had. If not, please do let me know in the comment section, or if not, please do type in clear. With that, we will have concluded our webinar. And as I do always request near the end of the webinars to hit the likes, and also make sure to share the content with your friends, colleagues, and other people who would be interested in this kind of content. And still I'm seeing only 8-ish likes, and there are 14 people currently live in the webinar. So if you have forgotten, make sure you hit the like before you leave this chat. Clear. Thank you, Jill, for the confirmation, and Fraser. So it means we do not have any further doubts. In that case, I'll close this stream now, and see you guys in the upcoming webinar on Monday at 2 p.m. GMT. Okay, that's all for this webinar, guys, and take care. Bye.